Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Santa's Workshop. Today, got some more information for you for the 427. So I want to put it on my Tech Tuesday because this is actually a technical tip that happened way back in the 70s. So I've got more information than just that, but I have been doing some studying and I have had several comments. One from the person who actually sold this motor to the TV program Two Guys Garage to put in that Impala. So I'll get back with you and we'll go over everything I've learned. Okay, I got a message from Michael, not me, another Michael, who said he is the one who actually sold Two Guys Garage this motor back in the 90s when they did that show. He said it is an L88 427, 12.5 to 1 compression pistons. It does take 105 octane to run. Anything with this kind of compression and those close chambered heads definitely would take some high octane to run. A lot of people have been saying that these are detonation cavitations in the pistons. I promise you they are not. They are very sharp edged. Let's see if I can get that thing to focus in there good enough. They're definitely sharp edged. I really believe that one right there you can really see. I believe a spark plug tip has broken off in this one and in this one. That one there might have a couple of detonations, but for the most part, those are very sharp edge holes. Detonation wouldn't do that. It'd have more of a burn looking hole in it. But that is one of the things that a lot of people have been commenting on. You know, a lot of detonation in that. Well, that's something got in there because those are very sharp holes, very impact, not detonation. So that is another thing. Trying to remember everything I've learned. The L88 had the 12.5 to 1 pistons. Now, I found out that a lot of people are saying that, you know, if it was the L88, it would have a 4-bolt main. Not all had 4-bolt mains. Some of them had 2-bolt. The really sought after one is the aluminum block with aluminum heads. Sadly, that ain't this one, but I mean, this is still a very desirable engine. But I want to go over here and show you the heads. These, I believe, were worked very recently, as in, not recently as in yesterday, but before it was put together back in the 90s. These are some very nice looking heads. Valves look good. I mean, the seats on them look amazing. Let's see if we can get you in here. I mean, they look very nice. I'm trying to get me a Magnaflux machine so I can actually check these here in-house. But there is the head number if anybody wants to look that up. And here is the GM number on the intake. And there's some numbers under here. There they are. But this intake is amazingly light. It is something else. But the camshaft had 5 lobes down. And I found out some information from my brother-in-law, who actually worked at a Chevrolet dealership back in the mid-70s. And, you know, 75, these engines were 8 years old. So they were still on the road, still being used, very, very popular engine. But he said that it was not a recall, but it was a service bulletin from Chevrolet, and they wanted these things fixed very quietly. They didn't want it to be known what they were having to do. And I say that Chevrolet, no disrespect, but it was a simple fix. But what was the problem was right here. You can see this ridge coming down through here. That is your oil galley for the lifters. And you've got two plugs right here at the end. These plugs, there's no flow. This oil comes to these plugs and stops. There's no flow through. It just pressures up and goes into the lifters. You think, well, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Air would get caught in these and starve the lifters. It would cause the lifters to starve the cam, the lobes. It just caused all sorts of problems. And he said when they would bring the vehicles, brand new vehicles, into the shop, if the lifters rattled when they started it, they'd pull it right in and take a very, very, very tiny drill bit and drill into the center of these plugs, which does two things. It relieves the air pressure, and it also will lubricate the cam pulley as well as the chain. So that right there was something that I was like, oh, I did not, that I would have never thought that. But my brother-in-law, it was his job to do that for a while because he was the low man on the totem pole. And he said working on the new engines, trying to make it look like they didn't do nothing to them, that was an interesting deal. But 427 L88, I've heard so many things about the CON V2. I've had a lot of people tell me it was a crate engine. I've had a lot of people tell me that it come on a conveyor belt too. Still haven't found a definite description for that. I had, several people telling me it would run just fine on pump gas. No way. Can't do it. Not with these pistons. But this, not having that modification done right here, I guarantee helped in the demise of this camshaft. So that was absolutely, positively not on Randy. That camshaft was already down. That's why it was rattling so. And I don't care how much you tighten that thing or those valves, it's not going to do any worse than what it already is. So, we know this thing has been into. We pulled the main caps, and we pulled two main caps. Both of them had Federal Magul bearings, which if it was standard, it would have been GM bearings. They are 10 over, which is nothing, because there are cams that come from General Motors 20 over at times. So the cam bearings crank bearings. It's hot out here, guys. The crank bearings the crank should be good to be polished or turned another 10 and put back in this engine. Everything is good on it. The double roller timing chain is definitely a replacement. The truck timing chain, which come in these sometimes on the heavier duty applications, was a solid gear, but it was a roller. Most of them had a fiber gear up here. They used the fiber gear to quieten it down. So the fiber gear, everybody knows, will wear out quickly over time. But this one here had a double roller, so I know it was replaced. The pistons, we looked up the number on them. Oh gosh, I can't remember what brand these are, but they are not factory. They are aftermarket. So, but it is a standard bore, and there is no lip. So I am betting at one time this engine probably did come out of a 67 Corvette. It was rebuilt, and then who knows where it went to from there. So this engine is going to be a heck of a builder. Oh, one other thing. As most of you guessed, these are not factory. They are a 1.7 rocker, but these are not factory rockers. The factory rockers were stamped metal, and of course, you know, held oil down in them. This motor was built with the best stuff of its time. And Crane Fireball cam, of course. Here's the, see if I can get you the numbers on this thing. Come on, focus in here. Boy, I got this new phone so it would focus better, and it just don't want to do it. There we go. There's the numbers so you can read that. New water pump, new harmonic balancer on it. Randy gave me the old harmonic balancer that came with the car. They said it was damaged, and I am sorry, I do not see any damage on that thing whatsoever. It looks perfect. But ended up with two harmonic balancers. Man, this car is going to be something else. Or this engine, car. Wow, it is hot out here. This engine's going to be something else. My plans for it right now, at this moment, is when my YouTube starts making more money, I will use the profits from it to build this engine, and we're going to put it in the 83 Camaro, along with a 9-inch Ford rear end, and we're going to turn it into a quarter-mile car, but we're going to keep it street legal. Now, I'm going to have to run race gas in it, but to go to car shows and stuff like that, I think it would be fun. So, but that concludes our Tech Tuesday. I hope you liked the information I'd found out on this. It clears a little bit of things up, especially that oil gallery being airlocked. I really thought that was a very interesting turn of events, I guess you'd say, since the cam was what went down, and it had a service bulletin on it back in the 70s to do the exact thing it needed. So, you know, it'll be done by the time I get it built, and I want to look into much more stuff to build this thing as the best I can. Definitely going to go back with a roller cam, probably roller rockers. But I want to figure out what cam will be best for this. Making it drivable, as well as pretty quick down the track. So stick with me. We're going to have some fun with this one. Y'all, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And thank you so much for joining in and making this channel a success. And we'll see you next time on Santa's Workshop.